They said a man's bedroom was his fortress, until the empire built a door into it. Rome burns under a clean summer sky. Marble glitters, perfume rots in the heat. The Senate gathers, white togas, black eyes. A scroll is unrolled, smelling of ink and skin. It will not tax grain. It will register beds. Rome loves its scandals dressed as laws, and Marcus Aelius Varro knows how to sew. His villa sits high above the forum, curtains drawn to keep out the heat and the stairs. Inside, marble floors breathe cold through sandal straps. The air carries the bite of fresh ink and hot wax. 6 men bend over a low table. They speak in turns, but the words come from him. Order, virtue, protection of the family. Each syllable heavy enough to crack a marriage bed. Below, the city stirs. Soldiers back from the east spill coin in smoky taverns. Merchants haul silk, oil, and stories worth more than gold. Wives slip into gardens meant for prayer, meeting hands not their husbands. Julia Calvina is not here, but her name already sits in Varro's mind, sharp as a dagger tip. The Senate will call this law a shield. Varro will use it as a blade. He dips the reed pen. The first line bleeds across parchment. In the corner, a seal waits, red clay, cold, patient, ready to make the bedroom Rome's newest battlefield. Night sinks into the villa like ink. Lamps hiss. Wax warms. Paper waits. Varro keeps the room small. Fewer witnesses. Fewer ghosts. He unrolls a fresh scroll. Beeswax, clay, the dry rasp of parchment. Each sound feels like a lock clicking. He writes the skeleton first. Registration of marriages. Registration of complaints. Names. Addresses. Beds. Evidence must breathe on its own. Witnesses sworn under penalty. Servants may speak. Neighbors may listen through walls. Sheets may testify by stain and smell. Penalties follow like soldiers. Fines for the discreet. Exile for the bold. Confiscation for those who trade desire for influence. A new office takes shape on the page. Investigators. Clerks. Men trained to measure silence and rumor. Men paid to count sins. He adds a line for mercy. Thin. Decorative. To be shown at festivals and never used. Down the hill, Rome is loud with laughter. Up here, the law learns how to enter a bedroom. Varro presses his seal into red clay. The stamp lands with a clean, wet click. Order, he whispers. Control, says the echo. Outside the shutters, the night is soft. Inside, the empire sharpens a key. Morning spreads gold over the forum. Merchants shout prices, slaves run with baskets, and in the Senate the air tastes of lime wash and dust. Varro stands at the center, scroll in hand. His voice is smooth, the kind used to soothe and to bind. He speaks of the law as a cure. The Senate hears it as a weapon. Some nod. They see rivals already tangled in scandal. Some scowl. They feel the noose tightening on their own doors. Julia Calvina watches from the gallery. Her jewels catch the light, sharp as teeth. She smiles only when Varro looks her way. He explains the offices, the penalties, the promise of virtue. Each clause is a nail, hammered without pause. When he finishes, the chamber hums, not with applause but with calculation. Allies approach him, whispering support wrapped in conditions. Opponents slip away to prepare their defense. Julia lingers, the last to leave. Her voice is silk over steel. A fine law, Marcus. I wonder who will break it first. Varro bows slightly. Rome always finds a volunteer. The order comes at dawn. Lucius Flaccus is summoned to the Curia. He arrives in plain armor, polished but without shine. A soldier's habit dies hard. Varro greets him with the cool weight of authority. "You will serve as investigator for the new law," he says. Flaccus nods once. No questions. No visible reaction. The assignment is clear. Track the accused. Collect evidence fit for the Senate. Bring back names, not rumors. They walk through the new offices together. Small rooms lined with shelves for scrolls yet to be written. Tables for clerks who will never touch a sword. Jars of red clay for seals, stacked like quiet soldiers. Varro explains the chain of proof. Witness statements. Servant testimonies. Stains and scents recorded like battlefield reports. Flaccus listens, his mind measuring each step like a march. He notes where bribes will slide in, where silence will cost more than gold. Outside, the streets hum with morning trade. Inside, Flaccus accepts his first scroll, blank and waiting. By the time he leaves, the air is already heavier. He has a key to every door, and orders to open them. Whispers travel faster than messengers. By the second week, the city knows a name. Not a real one, a title, the Veil. No one claims to have seen the face. Only the letters sealed with violet wax. Only the scent, a trace of foreign spice and smoke. They say the Veil can arrange any meeting, between senators and slaves, between generals and their enemies' wives, all for a price that is never paid in coin. Flaccus hears it first from a tavern boy, a slip of paper left under a cup, a time, a place, no signature. He burns it without reading twice, but the name stays in his head like a splinter. Varro dismisses it as gutter talk, yet in the Senate men shift when the name is spoken. Julia Calvina hears it too. Her laugh carries down the marble hall. "It seems, Marcus, your law has made new business for old trades." The Veil remains unseen, but the invitations keep finding their way into the hands of those who matter. And into the beds the law was meant to close. Otho knows how to throw a party. Not the loud kind, the dangerous kind. The villa is lit with low oil lamps. Shadows move more than the guests. Music from the east threads through the air, slow and heavy. Silk cushions scatter the floor. Bronze cups sweat with wine thickened by something sweeter. Flaccus arrives under orders to observe. No uniform, no sword, just eyes. Julia Calvina enters late. Her gown is the color of spilled pomegranate. Every turn of her head catches the light like a blade. Otho greets her with a bow that lingers. They speak in low tones, laughter too soft to trust. In the corners, deals are struck in half sentences. Fingers brush along arms not meant to be touched. The law has been in effect for less than a month. Already it is the evening's most popular joke. Flaccus notes faces, times, and glances, but his gaze keeps returning to Julia, not because she is the most dangerous in the room, but because she knows it. The first arrest is not a senator. It is his wife and her lover. Flaccus arrives before dawn. The garden gate hangs open. The air smells of citrus and sweat. Servants stand in a tight cluster, eyes down. A neighbor claims to have heard laughter, then silence. The couple is found in the atrium, still tangled. He records every detail. The wine spilled across the mosaic of Neptune. The single sandal left by the fountain. The mark on her neck, the kind that does not fade in an hour. By law, both are taken to holding rooms in the curia. The wife weeps into her veil. The lover stares at the floor, jaw set. Varro reviews the report with a smile that does not touch his eyes. "Good," he says. "The city will see the law has teeth." Julia hears of it by midday. She sends a note to Flaccus. 6 words, no seal. Let's see how deep they bite. By the end of the month, the files multiply. Scrolls stacked in neat, damning towers. Flaccus moves through them like a soldier through tents. Each case is a campaign. Each name, a target. Patterns begin to show. The accused are not random. They are merchants with rivals, senators with enemies, generals with ambitions. Servants talk freely when coin is offered. Neighbors talk faster when fear is promised. Sheets and letters are carried into evidence rooms, sealed like war spoils. The veil's name appears twice, once in a servant's whisper, once on a note hidden in a jewelry box. Varro dismisses it again. Flaccus does not. He walks the narrow streets where the lamps burn low, asks questions with his eyes more than his voice. Always the same answer, a shrug, a smile, a story that changes before it ends. The law is doing its work, but someone else is doing it better, and leaving no fingerprints. Otho waits until the Senate is full. He stands slowly, the way a man does when he knows every eye will follow. He speaks of loyalty, of Rome's need for clean leadership. Then he produces the letter. It is read aloud by a clerk, a note between a married woman and a man not her husband. The woman's name, a cousin of Varro. Gasps move through the chamber like wind through leaves. Varro's jaw does not move, only his hand tightening on the arm of his chair. The letter is real. The hand that delivered it is unknown, but the timing is perfect. Otho folds his arms, lets the silence grow fat. He suggests that no law can stand if those who write it break it first. Some senators nod. Others glance at Varro, measuring the damage. Julia Calvina leaves the chamber before the session ends. Her smile is small, but it stays all the way down the marble steps. Outside, Otho breathes the warm air like a man who has just opened a door no one can close. Julia Calvina chooses her stage carefully. A villa on the edge of the city, open gardens, high walls, and a guest list that hums with danger. She sends invitations to senators, generals, and their wives, and to the men they hope no one knows. Flaccus hears of it through a clerk. The date is bold. The anniversary of the law is passing. Julia arrives late to her own gathering. Her gown is white, her hair unbound. Every eye follows her, some in admiration, some in warning. Wine flows. Music hides whispers. Couples slip away into colonnades and shadowed rooms. Flaccus sees her with a man, not her husband. They walk too close, laugh too softly. She knows he is watching. Later, servants will swear they saw nothing. Guests will swear they saw too much. By morning, the rumor will be everywhere that Julia Calvina has dared the law to touch her, and dared Marcus Aelius Varro to make it public. Flaccus has known divided loyalties before, but never like this. Varro summons him at first light. The Senate wants proof against Julia Calvina. Not rumor, not suggestion. Proof. Flaccus nods, takes the order, leaves without promising to obey. He walks the streets until the sun is high. Finds Julia in the garden of a temple, alone except for 2 guards who pretend not to see. She greets him with the calm of someone who expected him. "You're here for evidence," she says. He does not answer. They sit in the shade of an olive tree. She speaks of Varro's law, of its rot beneath the marble, of the people it will crush long before it touches her. Flaccus listens, weighing her words like coin. He knows the Senate will devour her if he delivers what they want. He also knows she is playing him. When they part, she leaves nothing in his hand. No letter, no seal, only a choice that will follow him back to the Curia. By the time he returns, the order still sits on his desk, and the wax seal is still unbroken. Flaccus finds the veil in the place no one looks. The public baths, steam thick enough to hide a face. A voice greets him from the mist. Low, unhurried, female. She does not give a name. Only an offer, a list of every bed the law could ruin. Senators, wives, priests, generals. The price is simple. Freedom. She will vanish from Rome. He will let her. Flaccus asks why she would give this to him. The answer drifts through the steam. Because Varro once owned me, and I prefer my enemies visible. A shadow passes. A small packet drops into his palm, sealed with violet wax, smelling of foreign spice. When the steam clears, she is gone. Only the sound of dripping water remains. Back in his quarters, Flaccus breaks the seal. Inside, names he recognizes, names that could tear the Senate apart. He closes the packet and locks it away. For now, it is a weapon no one else will touch. The curia is full before the bells stop ringing. Every seat taken, every corridor crowded. Julia Calvina stands in the center. Her gown is plain, her hair bound tight. Not the look of guilt, the look of defiance. Varro presides from the high seat. Flaccus stands to one side, the packet from the veil locked in his mind. A clerk reads the charge. Violation of the adultery law. The words echo against marble, sharper than steel. Witnesses are called. Servants speak of shadows on walls, of laughter behind closed doors. Neighbors swear they saw her with a man, not her husband. Julia listens without flinch. When it is her turn, she steps forward. Her voice is clear, cutting through the murmurs. She questions each witness herself, twists their words back on them, suggests the law invites lies, rewards gossip, destroys trust. The chamber shifts. Some lean forward, others look away. Varro keeps his face still, but his fingers drum against the arm of his chair. By the end, no verdict is reached, only the sense that the trial has just begun. The Senate meets again under a sky the color of lead. Julia Calvina arrives early, alone. She carries no scroll, no lawyer, only a small folded sheet. When the chamber fills, she requests to speak. Varro hesitates, then nods. Her words are measured. She praises the law's intent, condemns its execution. Then she unfolds the sheet. It is a copy of correspondence, Varro's own hand. A note arranging a meeting between a married woman and himself. The date is recent. The seal is his. Gasps ripple through the Senate. Varro does not deny it. Instead, he claims the letter is forged. Julia smiles without warmth. Then prove it, Marcus. By your own law. Silence holds the room. To clear his name, Varro would have to submit to the same investigation he created. Some senators shift, already tasting blood in the water. Others look to Otho, who watches with open satisfaction. The sheet returns to Julia's hand. She folds it once, twice, and tucks it away. The trial is no longer hers. It belongs to Varro. Otho chooses his moment like a duelist. The Senate is already tense from Julia's blow. He steps forward with the easy grace of a man carrying a blade. From his cloak, he produces a bundle of scrolls, each sealed in violet wax. These, he says, came to me anonymously. They concern our colleague Marcus alias Varro. A clerk breaks the first seal, reads aloud letters between Varro and various women, all married, all notable. Some hint at affairs, others leave no doubt. Murmurs swell into open voices. Varro's face hardens, but his hands remain still. Otho does not claim the source, but in the back of the chamber, Flaccus knows the scent of foreign spice. One by one, the scrolls are laid on the Senate floor. Otho speaks of hypocrisy, of law as a mask for vice. When he finishes, the room is divided. Some call for Varro's resignation. Others demand an inquiry. Otho bows slightly and steps back. The blade has landed. Now he waits to see how deep it cuts. The vote comes at midday. The chamber smells of sweat and wax. Senators drop their tokens into bronze urns. Each clink is a nail in Varro's career. When the count is read, the result is clear. Marcus Aelius Varro is stripped of his office. No exile, no prison. Only confinement to his villa under guard. The Senate wants him silent, not martyred. Varro accepts the sentence without a word, but his eyes move from face to face, memorizing. Outside, the city learns the news before the ink is dry. Some cheer, some whisper that the law will fall with him. They are wrong. Otho steps into Varro's place before the day ends. The adultery law remains untouched, only redirected. Flaccus receives new orders. Same office, same duties, different master. Julia walks past Varro's villa that night. She does not look up, but she knows he is watching. The game is not over. It has only changed hands. The veil disappears as suddenly as she appeared. No letters, no whispers, no scent of foreign spice. Flaccus sends men to every quarter. They find empty rooms, unpaid debts, and locked chests with nothing inside. Some say she left by sea, hidden among merchants bound for Antioch. Others claim she walks Rome in daylight, her face unrecognized. Julia hears the rumors and keeps her own counsel. Otho does not speak of her at all. In the Senate, the absence is felt more than her presence ever was. Secrets that might have burned the city now sit dormant. Flaccus keeps the violet-sealed packet in his desk, untouched, waiting. At night, he wonders if she left by choice or was removed. The difference matters, because one means she is gone. The other means she is watching. The law continues its work. Beds are counted, names recorded. But one shadow is missing from the game, and every player feels it. Flaccus stands in the same office, but the air feels different. Otho's seal now hangs over the door. The desks are fuller. Clerks work faster, speaking in low voices. The law has not softened, it has sharpened. Otho's orders are simple. More investigations, quicker arrests, high names, low names, no one untouchable. Flaccus complies, but he moves carefully, keeping one hand on his own secrets. He sees how Otho uses the law, not to clean Rome, but to clean the board. Rivals fall one by one, their scandals fed to the public like bread. Julia visits once, unannounced. She walks the rows of scrolls, fingers brushing the seals. "You've kept your position," she says. "For now," he replies. Outside, the city has grown used to the law's presence. What was outrage is now routine. What was fear is now habit. Flaccus leaves the office at dusk. From the steps, he watches the forum burn gold in the last light. Power changes hands. The law never does. The Senate speaks of morality in daylight. At night, the same men send runners to back doors. The adultery law has become a map of power. Every investigation, a move. Every arrest, a message. Otho chairs the hearings himself. Accusations land on rivals like stones in a river. Some sink quietly. Others make a splash meant to be heard. Flaccus watches the patterns. He sees who is spared, who is targeted. He keeps his reports precise, stripped of judgment. Julia navigates the new order with the same poise. She avoids scandal without avoiding danger. Her name never appears in the ledgers, but her influence does. Varro remains in his villa, silent but not absent. Visitors come at night, leaving before dawn. Whatever he is building, it is not finished. Rome adapts. The people learn which beds are safe, which are not. The law was written for virtue. It lives for control. Night settles over Rome like a verdict. The streets quiet, but the windows glow. In the Curia, the law's scrolls rest in neat rows. Names and dates, beds and bodies, all sealed, all owned. Flaccus walks past them without slowing. He knows most will never be opened again. They have served their purpose. Otho dines with allies, the law at his back. Julia sits in her garden, sipping wine untouched. Varro waits in his villa, patient as stone. The city breathes under the weight of rules it no longer questions. Desire bends. Power holds. From the Palatine to the Subura, every door is watched. Every curtain could hide a crime. In Rome, every law is just a new way to own you, even in bed.